Good evening, everybody, and welcome here to the Coca-Cola 600, race number 14 of the second season of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, powered by the WRA. Getting ready to cap off what has been an interesting race weekend we've had here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and it starts here with ends with our longest race of the year. Defending series champion Ponzo Albanus. What a job for him last night getting the pole for this evening's race. He starts on the pole position. He's done a good job keeping himself in the top 35, not having to use that provisional that he has, the champion's provisional. He did drop, however, a spot down to 11th in the points in car number 11, but still having a very good season. Nevertheless, he will be alongside of Kevin Joseph. Now, Kevin Joseph, it's been the complete opposite for him. He is 34th in the points coming in this race. He has a fairly good cushion, 28 points to be exact, above the 35th in the standings cut line. We'll have to see what happens to him in this race. Tatum Wright, row number 2, 13th in the points table. And alongside of her is Brad Lewis in the 17. Brad Lewis dropped 5 spots down to 26th position in the point standings. So this is going to be something those drivers are going to need to have good runs here tonight. And a very good one because it's a long one, 140 laps to be exact. There's the rest of your starting lineup. The cars are now going to roll off. The amazing 42 cars we have here tonight. Let's talk about your points presented by Golden Corral. When we last left off the points at Darlington from 2 weeks ago, as okay, the 8's got an issue. That's going to be waived off. Hold on. Okay, looks like the 8 cars issue is taken care of. So we're going to get back over here to the 11. As I was saying, the points coming into this race are as follows. Vanko Seaman is the points leader by 7 points over Jessica Miller. Maddie Crenshaw, 26 back, third in the standings. Betty Johnson, fourth in the standings, 37 back, 52 back. Ashley Reynolds in fifth. She's tied with Annie Thomas for that spot. Thomas is sixth. H Bluejay, seventh. Samantha Grainger, Jerry Harvick, Jacob TwoTwo. That is your top 10. 70 points. Separate the top 10 in the standings. Was trying to get to our our inaugural winner of the Coke 600. That is Ashley Reynolds. She is in the field tonight. Here we go, and she starts right there in fifth. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the second annual Coke 600 for the Winston Cup drivers on NR 2003 is green. Truck race didn't have a caution. We had 2 cautions last night in Busch competition. Who led that lap? I couldn't tell. Albanus by 1,000th of a second will lead the first lap of this race. Ben Tennyson in the camo U.S. Army car this week. Since it is the Coke 600, some drivers are running some patriotic paint schemes or camo schemes. Margaret Jacobs running the Camel Bud scheme on her Chevrolet. Next week she'll run the American flag, the Stars and Stripes, Bud Chevrolet. As Ashley Reynolds, the defending winner of this race, now in the lead of the race. Last night, fresh tires almost played a factor and almost got a win for a driver down in the Busch Series. I bet you these drivers watched that Busch race a little bit carefully, and it definitely could play a factor tonight here on the Cup side. Here comes Ben Tennyson, the 0-1 underneath the UPS Ford. Can't get the run. Let's check the back of the field here. Jacob TwoTwo, Josephine Bouvier, Helga Gunnarsson, one of the 7 drivers, raced her way in. Lucy Myers, Ashlyn Wright, Liliana Bates back here at the rear of the field with Cody Smart. Annie Crenshaw, Senor Sean's back here at the rear of the field. I realize now we have the 2 Mountain Dew cars, but one of them is black, one of them is black and green. One's the pitch black, the other one is just the regular Mountain Dew, so you can definitely pick those 2 cars apart. Montgomery, that's Jessica Miller. Molly Watts making her 5th start. It's been a while since she made the show. There's Jacob Foster. First time Jacob has made triple duty this weekend. Originally failed to qualify for the truck race, but with the fact that Carlos Rodriguez, who's now out of the series, and Michael Brown, also out of the series, they needed a driver for the 33. Jacob got in that 33 truck, had a good run till the engine let go. Then last night got involved in our first caution, didn't even complete the first 10 laps in the Busch race. So it was a really short evening for him. So he's looking to redeem himself this weekend. There's the 51 of Joe Moore. Drake Robertson right there. Lauren Gribius ran the Busch race last night. Had a good top 10 run, looking to try to build on that here tonight, running the Energizer Bunny on her Dodge. There's Vanko Seaman, our points leader, running the Stars and Stripe Napa car on his Chevrolet. There's Maddie Crenshaw, Betty Johnson underneath Nathan Stapleton. Skylar Davidson got in because of the fact that Michael Brown made the race but failed post-qualifying inspection. And then he ended up throwing a punch at an official, which got the police involved, which I was not told that until I got to the track earlier today. They didn't tell me until after I got out of the booth, went down to the Busch race, or after the Busch race concluded last night. There's Luna Farmer. If you weren't with us yesterday during pole day qualifying or last night, Luna Farmer driving the 5 car for the remainder of the season, replacing the now ejected Nathan Ormond. So we'll see what Luna is going to do here. And leading the race, Betty Barrett. Betty Barrett came in this race at critical 35th in the standings. Former winner this season at Rockingham, North Carolina. In a race that was really controversy. Here comes Luna Farmer underneath Ben Tennyson. More than likely, there will be an announcement that from Hendrick Motorsports, that is, that Luna Farmer will more than likely go full time with this 5 team in the Winston Cup Series for season 3, which we talked a little bit about that last night in the Busch race. Of course, she had a good run, got involved in a wreck late in the race. She was checked and released from the care center before went off to went off to went off to the showers. Bet you Luna was absolutely gutted after that one. She felt like she could add a top 15 car. And Luna is going to go ahead and take the race lead from Betty Barrett. So Luna Farmer, a winner from New Hampshire. As I'm recording this, my favorite city, Weatherford, their school district, and my favorite college campus that I went to for music band camp when I was growing up over the years is closed today due to a chemical spill. Good news is is nobody is hurt. All the students on at SWASU, unfortunately, going to be stuck in their dorm room, which really sucks. But hey, at least they have each other to keep them company. So I bet they'll try to find some time to pass over the boredom. Probably go out and go have lunch and dinner tonight. So there you go. That's as I'm recording this. As Luna Farmer now continues to lead this race. There's Jay Green. Also should mention this now with Nathan Norman now out of the series. That hands the rookie points lead over to Ashlyn Wright. First time that is somebody that's not Nathan Ormond who would be in the driver's seat as far as the Rookie of the Year honor is concerned. By the way, Ashlyn Wright failed to qualify for a couple of races, so who knows what would have happened. There's Luke Knight in second. I'm glad if Hendrick Motorsports was going to pick a driver from the DVR organization, I'm glad they picked Luna Farmer from the Busch Series. As she's currently now enjoying that nice clean air on that Delphi Chevrolet out of Hendrick Motorsports. Would not be surprised if she goes full time. And Skylar Davidson did not qualify for either Trucks or Busch, making it a DVR development drivers 1-2 right now, with Ben Tennyson in third, trying to chase the two ladies down. Eddie Barrett in fourth. Luke Knight is fifth. Thank you, game. I wanted on Jay Green, but you made me go to the pace car for whatever reason. Jay Green in sixth. Seventh, Annie Thomas, Brad Lewis, Matty Crenshaw, Ashley Horton. That is your top 10. As we're about to complete 37 laps of this race. And troubles for Lauren Grubius as the engine has let go on the Energizer Bunny Dodge. But she is off the racing surface, so the caution will not come out. We will stay green. That's a tough break for Lauren Grubius. Lauren was 49th in the points. More than likely only going to get a few points out of it. Oh, yeah, Molly Watts came in this race on that number with Sarah Taylor. However, that will definitely change after today. Luna Farmer is a whopping 101 points back of 35th in the standings. Now, I know some people are going to be asking, well, why would you put a driver who's outside the top 35 in the show in this 5 car that's locked in the show? I think the main reason for that is because, remember, when Nathan Ormond starts dropping through the points, this 5 car is going to stay in the top 35. Because remember, it will, after this season, it goes by owner points. Because you will have to, because remember, she only did the races in the 60. Now that she's in this 5 for the rest of the year, she's continuing to add points to the owner points for the 5 because she wants to make sure that 5 car stays in the top 35. And with her running the 5 car for the rest of the year, and like I said, she's 42nd in points. She's already going to bypass drivers who failed to qualify. Because Jacob Foster, who actually made the show this week, he's only 91 points back of the 35th in the standings cut line as well. Of course, Jacob would more than likely be 36th in the points table. But it's going to depend where Luna Farmer is going to finish because the gap between Farmer and Foster is 10 points. The thing is, as Skylar Davidson takes the lead from Luna, Luna Farmer's led a laps. Jacob Foster has not. Speaking of Jacob Foster, Matt Cure at the rear of the field. As we're also being told, J TwoTwo has also had a gearbox failure. He's out of the race, and it was a piston failure that let go on Lauren Grubius. So Grubius, this is not the good points day for her. J TwoTwo, on the other hand, came in this race 10th in points. He's going to drop out of the top 10 of the points just like that. So already 2 drivers out of the race. And we talked about this race being an endurance. You got to hope your equipment lasts for 140 laps. Well, that didn't happen for those two. Which also, here's the other thing this is going to mean for Luna Farmer. She will no longer be joining us for pole day for Gorgon qualifying now that she's in the 5 car for the remainder of the season. She's also going to be more than likely not going to be eligible for the Rookie of the Year honors next season because of the fact she will complete more than 7 Winston Cup races as far as that's concerned. But she's doing a good job. And I'm also been impressed with Skylar Davidson. I know Skylar's been wanting to make the race for quite a while. Betty Barrett running in 3rd as we're nearing lap 50, which means Skylar Davidson will lead at lap 50. Skylar Davidson doing a very good job in her limited starts in the Cup Series. Skylar's making her, if I go back to the points here, Skylar's making her 3rd start. She has accumulated 34 points on the Cup side with her attempting to qualify for these races. Should also mention for Luna Farmer, she's also attempted to qualify for every race this season here on the Cup side, so and with her running the 5 car for the last 20, trying to do a math in my head, and let's see, this is race 14, so that's, let me do some calculation. The remaining 22 races, she would, and with how many starts she's made prior to tonight, and she's about to take the lead. Nope, she's coming to pit road. Oh, this must be green flag pit stops, I would assume. Probably want to get the undercut going. Drake Robertson is in. Like the call, come to pit road, get your tires. Luna's made 3 starts. So with her going the rest of the season, she would complete a total of 25 out of the 36 races we have here this season. Brad Lewis gets a lap led. These drivers can go 67 laps on a fuel run. I like the idea. Why not go ahead and do the undercut? Nothing to lose. Brad Lewis nearly missed pit road, almost got in the grass. That would have been interesting. Should also mention this. Whoever wins this race, they're locked into the All-Star race for next season. Let's not forget that. Now that we're in the second half of the season. Bet you these drivers taking a 4-tire adjustment, making a chassis adjustment on the car, trying to either free up the car if it's loose, trying to tighten it up a little bit. Down the way goes Brad Lewis and Matty Crenshaw. Matty Crenshaw jumps ahead of Brad Lewis. As this will complete our first round of pit stops. As we've got a wreck on the back straightaway. Caution's out. Caution's out. Big wreck. Sean Hart's involved. Jacob Foster. Well, Jacob Foster's had a weekend to forget. Well, talk about timing is perfect, eh? We just completed a round of pit stops, and our first caution comes out. And this doesn't screw anyone over. Well, I bet you they're not going to come back to pit road because they've already made their pit stop. But a lot of cars involved in this yellow. Samantha Grainger, Tatum Wright's also involved. As Jessica Miller's on pit road. Caution's out for the first time today, just after we complete a cycle of green flag pit stops. Let's jump back, look at a replay to find out what happened to Senor Sean, as we're almost to the midway point of the Coke 600. Well, I thought we would see it sometime this weekend, but apparently we did. Watch Margaret Jacobs and Joe Moore here. They're the reasons for this caution to come out. Joe Moore is coming out of the pits, and Margaret Jacobs just speared the Marathon Oil Chevrolet, and Margaret's got damage to her camo machine. That's going to throw her off the pace, especially on an aerodynamic track. Tatum Wright just annihilated Joe Moore. Tell you what, Lucy Myers did a great job. Foster wasn't lucky. Turner didn't get lucky. Ashlyn Wright just snuck through there. Senor... No, that was Grainger into Wright. Watch this. Pow! Right there. Jessica Miller gets a piece. There's where Sean gets involved. Clips the rear end of the Jack Daniels Chevrolet. The good news is Sean wrecked the field. The bad news is Sean got wrecked in his own carnage. And a lot of cars involved in our first yellow of the race. Jacob Foster is going to have a weekend to forget here at Charlotte. And we're going to have a lot of drivers out of the race after this one, as we're going to head to the restart here at Charlotte. Looks like some drivers ended up topping off the fuel tanks under the yellow, but not pitting for tires, which I think that's a good idea because these drivers did get tires. So we're going to go back to green on lap 64 of 140, Skylar Davidson's the leader. Luna Farmer second. Ben Tennyson third. Jay Green fourth. Luke Knight gets fifth. Betty Barrett sixth. Maddie Crenshaw 7th, Ashley Reynolds, Annie Thomas, and Ashley Horton. That is your top 10. Drivers out, and there are a handful of them. Samantha Grainger, Tatum Wright, Joe Moore, tough break for Joe Moore, Timmy Turner, Senor Sean, and Jacob Foster out of the race. They joined Lauren Grubius and Jacob TwoTwo back behind the wall and out of the race. The good news is Sean caused some carnage. The bad news is Sean got involved in his own carnage. Sean 17th in points. Not good for him. Tatum Wright 13th in points. Not good for her. Samantha Grainger 8th in the points. So a couple of drivers running well in points. This was not what they needed. As we're back to green. Timmy Turner, 32nd in points. He could not ill afford another poor finish, knowing he's near the 35th in the standings cut line. Joe Moore, in his second start, was hoping to back it up. Unfortunately, not the finish he was hoping for. Unfortunately, a lot of those drivers, going to be taking some big hits in the points heading into next week at Talladega Superspeedway. We have 34 drivers on the lead lap and still in this race as we're nearing the midway point of the Coke 600. So unlike the last several weeks where caution came out in the middle of in the middle of green flag pit stops, this happened after we had green flag pit stops. We've cycled through the green flag pit stops. Oh, got a wreck. I just heard scraping as Farmer just took the lead. Yellow. Oh, Annie Crenshaw, Jessica Miller involved. Monica Towns. Oh, a disaster. The points leader, Vanco Siemens, involved. I was going to say a tough night for the Everham drivers, but the points leader, Vanco Siemens, involved. Liliana Bates is involved. What is going on in this race? And if the teammates got together, Ray Everham is going to be absolutely livid about this. Caution's out for the second time tonight. Farmer beat everybody back to the line, so she will be the leader. But let's go back and take a look at a replay to find out what brought out this second yellow of this evening's race. Well, Monica Towns will definitely not be at fault. Of course, she's on her last race on probation, but watch the 38. See, engine let go on the 38. And I don't know what the hell that was all about with Nathan Stapleton right there. And then Annie Crenshaw just went down the apron, just wiped out Vanco Siemens. So, I mean, that was clearly not Monica Towns' fault, but I really want to know what the deal was between Nathan Stapleton and Monica Towns there. As you just saw Jessica Miller clip Vanco Siemens, the points leader. And Monica was trying to avoid running in the back of Liliana Beta, which is completely understandable. Take a look. Yeah, see, she was trying to find a way to get by. I don't know what the hell Stapleton was doing. There's where Seaman got in the wall, thanks to the as I just went the wrong way, missed the contact of the 9. I'll have to do it the old classic way. Thanks, game. Well, I take that back what I said about Everham, but that was not the night as you saw the contact with the Miller Lite dodge to the Mountain Dew dodge. Boy, Monica Towns absolutely did not need this. I highly doubt Monica Towns is going to be happy with Nathan Stapleton because she was trying to do her best, trying to avoid not running in the back of Liliana Beta. Of course, she was on this was her final race on probation, and she was trying to be a good lady and not get involved in the officials' troubles. Well, Don't think the officials will be happy with Stapleton as we're going to head to the restart here at Charlotte. Just went back to green here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Out of the race after that incident, Jessica Miller, it was an engine failure that let go on Liliana Bates' machine. Annie Crenshaw and those drivers are now out of the race. Everybody else has continued on. Luke Knight has now taken the lead. Got a little triggered happy with the deal, so that's why I got back here quickly to the restart. Just past the halfway point. So Luke Knight leads this race past that midway point of this evening's race. Monica Towns, there's Margaret Jacobs, no hood on her Bud Chevrolet. There's Vanko Seaman, was involved in that last caution that came out. So we're looking at Helga Gunnarsson. Good battle here between Jerry Harvick and Ashley Reynolds. And back up front with Luke Knight. Trouble for the 77. That is Todd Montgomery. Was running 23rd at the time. Right front tire or something has gone down on the Jasper Dodge. So he's trying to be careful getting it back to pit road. Looks like he will. We will stay under the green flag. The good news for Vanko Seaman, the gal rather, that was trying to run him down for the points lead, is already out of the race. Because Jessica Miller came in this race second in points. She's out of the race. Vanko Seaman was involved in that last caution. Annie Crenshaw, 18th in points, out of the race. Liliana Beta, 29th in the points. This was not the run she was hoping for. Now that she's out of the race. As Todd Montgomery has now gone a lap down as a result of that tire change. Don't forget a reminder, next week we are at the Talladega Super Speedway. It'll be the Busch and the Cup drivers that weekend. Busch Series drivers will only have a new qualifying system with more than 42 drivers entered in that weekend. Cup drivers will just have a regular go qualifying session. Busch Series Go or Go Home qualifying races will take part at 11 a.m. Eastern on Friday. And the regular qualifying will be at 4 p.m. Eastern. Winston Cup pole day qualifying at 2, leading ourselves up to the Busch race at 4 p.m. Eastern next Saturday. Next Sunday at 2, the Cup drivers racing at Talladega Superspeedway. That will be a wild card race. Hope you'll join us next weekend from the high banks of Talladega. Luke Knight, Annie Thomas now up to second, with Betty Johnson now in third. Annie Thomas looking for the race lead. And new leader is the Amp Energy Audi, as Annie Thomas has now put that 82 car out front. So Annie Thomas gets around her co-owner buddy Luke Knight. Lane Aurora's up here in now in second. Good run for the Spaniard. One of the older rookies we've had. Of course, she was an older rookie in the Red Bull GT series. Now doing good here in the Winston Cup series with the experience she has. We talked about different manufacturers going to victory lane. Could tonight be the night we make Winston Cup history? Which we still have a lot of racing left to go, so I'm not going to rule that out. Of course, Audi's yet to go to victory lane ever since they made their debut back at Pocono. Of course, it's nice that Annie Thomas, and this is going to be interesting, the two paint schemes that DVR have, the 82 and the 43, now they're 1-2 as a result. Betty Johnson looking for another victory in the 43. Annie Thomas trying to get Audi their first win in Winston Cup competition. But the big question is, we completed pit stops from 51 to 58, which says to me as we're going to have some lap traffic in the way, which says to me, I'm not sure if they're going to make it the rest of the way on fuel. If we get another yellow, that is. Oh, Margaret, what are you doing there? Margaret already not having a good night. Todd is now 2 laps down. Yeah, remember, Todd had to limp back to the pits. Lost a lap, got his tires changed, lost another lap. And now the top 3 are World NUS Racing lads. Coming up to 41 laps to go in this race, J Harvick already looking for his 3rd win of the year, 5th career win on his career here in the Winston Cup Series. There's also a rumor that's going around. We're going to have some different paint schemes for the Craftsman Truck Series next season, which is the 2006 schemes. So I just hit my mic. Sorry about that. Margaret Jacobs got a tire going down, putting what has been a miserable night as Annie Thomas looking for the race lead. Annie Thomas back to the lead on Betty Johnson. Both of these gals really been having a better season. In particular, Annie Thomas, that is. Last season when we had the playoffs, as far as, Annie Thomas, got a win early in the year, wasn't high enough to have her win count for a playoff spot. Now Betty Johnson retakes the lead. Had some drivers come to pit road. Riley Anderson, looks like the 31 coming in. I think these drivers are fearing they can't make it the rest of the way. I think this is a good idea. And these drivers are coming to pit road. They fear that they can't make it the rest of the way. Why not go ahead and take it by the thread? Let's go ahead and make our final stops of the night. Right decision. As Betty Johnson's come to pit road. That gives the lead to Matty Crenshaw. Ooh, almost contact with the 20. The 20 and 22 nearly made contact. Almost hurt the 21 coming to pit road. That would have not been good. Lucy Myers now stays out, gets herself a lap lead. Some of these drivers, this is the last remaining drivers that had yet to come to pit road. I believe we're going to be 2 for 2 in completing a cycle of green flag pit stops just like that. Don't know who will be the leader when the cycle of pit stops are done. Skylar Davidson's got a tire going down. It's like Annie Thomas is now the leader. Tough break for Skylar Davidson, having a quiet run. Now she's going to go a lap down as a result of this. Nope, they have took that car to the garage. Ran over some debris. And Skylar Davidson's night is going to come to an end. What a shame. Will become our 12th driver who, as of now, would fail to finish. Annie Thomas just trying to hold them off. She and Betty Johnson both live in Pittsburgh. Both of them consider Pocono Raceway their home race, along with their godfather Zachary Fitzwater. And Annie Thomas, who has not won a race since early stages of season 1, which she's gone over a season without a win. Riley Anderson's had an engine problem. Caution's out. We got a wreck in the back straight. Brad Lewis involved. Riley Anderson's torn up. As the yellow is out, that was the last thing Annie Thomas wanted to see. We're going to jump back, look at a replay to see what happened to Riley Anderson and Brad Lewis. Well, I bet you Roush Fenway Racing is going to have an interesting meeting Tuesday morning before we go to Talladega. See, Riley's got an issue. By the way, I was watching an NR video on my phone, by the way. Riley has a problem, and she's trying to get down the apron. Nearly got hit by Stapleton and Drake Robertson. And then just right in the middle, poor Brad Lewis minding his own business. Ashley Horton gets a piece right in front of the defending champion Ponzo Albanus, but Brad Lewis, a lot of damage on his DeWalt Ford. I mean, I understand Riley Anderson has a mechanical problem, but you got to get off the track a lot quicker, and that might have just done her in. As yellow, our third of the night is out, let's get to the restart here at Charlotte. Hope y'all are getting your money's worth, because we're going to go back to green with this final double file restart in the proximity. Out of the race is Riley Anderson and Brad Lewis. Riley Anderson's been asked to see the officials. Forgot to mention Nathan Stapleton has also been asked to see the officials after the race in the big red truck for that incident involving Monica Towns, where Jessica Miller got taken out of the race. So we have Annie Thomas, Betty Johnson, Lena Aurora, Cody Smart having a good run, Michael Anderson, Maddie Crenshaw, Luke Knight, Luna Farmer, Molly Watts, and Bouvier. That is your top 10. Right now, 14 of the 42 starters have failed to finish. So my chat deal comes out. 4's got an issue. That's Lucy Myers running in 18th. Got a fuel issue. Hopefully she doesn't have a problem slowing down as we're back to green. But a fuel issue is the issue on the 4 car. We'll keep an update on the 4. Inside the 10 to go right now. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association, The Blue Hedgehog TV for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmit or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV, the World Racing Association, want to thank you fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Coming to 5 to go. Andy Thomas trying to do something that's never been done in the Winston Cup Series. Give Audi their very first career win in the Winston Cup Series. Lane Aurora like to go back to victory lane. How about the rookie Luna Farmer having a respectable run? Aurora battling as we're down to 4 laps of racing to go here at Charlotte. As we're already at 3 to go, coming to 2 to go. How about Luna Farmer doing a good job putting herself in the conversation of this win? Annie Thomas would like to get Audi their first win of their career in the Winston Cup Series. 2 laps of racing to go at Charlotte. Just 3 miles left in this race. I don't want to rule out Farmer. Farmer's trying to go for her second win and first with the Hendrick Motorsports drive gang. She's cleared Thomas. White flags in the air. One more time around Charlotte, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Farmer's right there with Elena Aurora. Farmer's got to make a move now. It better be now. I don't think she's going to do it. Elena Aurora is a Coke 600 winner. Holy cow. What a race. And the first win for Richard Childress Racing. Boy, talk about a great way to come out of the All-Star break. Farmer will get rookie of the race in second. She'll definitely cut down the gap between herself and 35th in the standings. Because remember, she was 101 points back of 35th. And with her leading some laps, it's really going to cut that gap down even more. Betty Johnson, Luke Knight, Annie Thomas, so close for Audi to get a win, but good runs for those drivers nevertheless. Farmer will take rookie of the race, by the way. Ashley Reynolds, 6th. 7th for Bouvier. Molly Watts, 8th. Ben Tennyson, 9th. Ashlyn Wright will take the top 10 in the 10th position. Man, oh man, this race has had it all, as we had a really interesting race. 28 drivers finished the race, 26 of them on the lead lap. Looks like Lucy Myers did come to pit road to fix a fuel issue, but it really didn't play a factor in the race. As you look on down to the remainder of the finishing results, everyone else out of the race. If you ask me, Riley Anderson out of the race. I doubt Jack Roush is going to be happy with her, and she's already been ordered to meet the officials. Same with Nathan Stapleton. Tough break for Brad Lewis. What a shame for Skylar Davidson. Had a good car, led some laps in the beginning stages of the race. Looked like a top 10 car, top 15 car. Tire went down. Unfortunately, absolutely devastated out of the race. Jessica Miller, 2nd in points, out of the race. Liliana Beta, Annie Crenshaw, Samantha Grainger, Tatum Wright, Joe Moore, Timmy Turner, Sean Art, Jacob Foster. All those drivers out of the race from that massive first caution of the race. And then Lauren Grubish, Jacob TwoTwo out of the race due to mechanical problems. They finished in 41st and 42nd. Vanko Seaman, 25th. He came his race as the points leader. I don't know where this is going to situate him, to be honest with you. I really don't know where this is going to situate him. I'm going to have to see where other drivers that were like 3rd in the standings. I think Maddie Crenshaw would be, or either Maddie Crenshaw or Betty Johnson, I believe, will take the points lead, because Betty Johnson led a lap. Maddie Crenshaw did not. So the points are definitely going to be shaken up after this evening's race. We want to congratulate Elena Aurora on her first win of the season here in the Winston Cup Series, 2nd season for the Coke 600. Hope you enjoyed tonight's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We show your full finish results. Your points table is down in the description as a result of what happened in this race. And for our studio engineer, Caleb Hobbs, I'm Dee DeVolos. Thank you for joining me and saying goodnight from Concord, North Carolina. Coming up next, we'll rejoin the Infinity Network Sports Studios programming already in progress. See you next week from Dega. You've been watching another broadcast of the World Racing Association's Multimedia Network.